almost lost everything in those first 3 months. And I don't mean emotionally, I mean literally. I was sitting on the floor of my bathroom at 2 in the morning doing math on the back of a diaper box because I couldn't figure out how I was going to feed my baby and keep the lights on at the same time. And the worst part? Nobody told me. Nobody warned me. Nobody said, hey, when you're suddenly alone with a newborn, here are the 7 financial mistakes that will destroy you before you even realize what's happening. So I made every single one of them. And today I'm going to tell you exactly what they are, so you don't have to learn them the way I did. The hard way, with a baby depending on you. The first one is not calculating the real cost of diapers and formula before the money starts disappearing. And I know that sounds basic, but listen to me. When I was still in the hospital, I had no idea that formula alone was going to cost me close to $300 a month. Nobody told me that. I just assumed I'd figure it out. And then the first week home, I'm standing in the store realizing that a can of formula lasts about 4 days. And diapers? Oh, diapers. Your newborn goes through 10-12 diapers a day. That's not an exaggeration. And suddenly you're spending money you don't have on things you absolutely cannot skip. So here's what I wish someone had told me on day 1. Sit down and write out every single baby expense for 1 week. Every wipe, every cream, every single thing. Because when you see the real number, you can at least start planning around it instead of being blindsided every time you check your account. Just 1 week of tracking. That's where it starts, but that's the easy part. Mistake number 2? That's the one that nearly broke me. Using credit cards as your emergency fund. And I know you're doing it. I know because I did it too. I told myself it was temporary. I told myself I'd pay it off next month, or when the child support came through, or when I got a better job. But next month never came. What came instead was interest, and then minimum payments I couldn't keep up with. And then that slow, suffocating feeling of watching the balance go up instead of down while you're buying diapers and gas and groceries and trying to pretend everything is fine. Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Credit cards feel like a safety net, but they're actually a trap with a time delay. The interest compounds. The minimum payments barely cover what you already owe. And before you know it, you're $3,000 in debt and you haven't bought a single luxury, just survival. What I learned the hard way is this. Set a number in your head right now, a hard limit, and treat it like a wall. If your card is at $800, you stop. You find another way. You don't swipe again. I know that sounds impossible when your baby needs things, but this is about protecting your future self. Because future you, she's going to be dealing with all of this plus the debt you're piling up right now. And if you think that's bad, wait until you hear what I did with my actual bank account. Mistake number 3, and honestly, this one still makes me sick, is not separating your finances from your ex immediately. I left my name on our joint account for almost 2 months after we split. 2 months. And in those 2 months, he spent money that should have gone to our baby. He made purchases I didn't authorize. He overdrafted the account twice. And guess whose credit took the hit? Mine. Because my name was still on it. I was so overwhelmed with the baby, with the feeding, with the not sleeping, with the crying, mine, not just hers, that I kept putting it off. I'll deal with the bank later. Later almost cost me my ability to rent an apartment. So hear me on this. The moment you're on your own, you go to the bank. You open your own account. You check every single auto payment, every subscription, every recurring charge. You change your passwords. You separate everything. I don't care if it feels petty. I don't care if he gets upset. Your baby's financial security depends on your name being on your own money, not on his. Now the next one, this is the one that I see literally every new single mom do, and it's the most dangerous because it comes from a good place. Refusing to ask for help or access programs. And I get it. I really, really get it. The pride, the shame, the voice in your head that says, I should be able to do this on my own. I had that voice. It screamed at me every day, and it almost cost me everything. Because while I was too proud to apply for assistance, I was also too broke to buy groceries. I was skipping meals. I was watering down formula. Don't judge me, I was desperate. And the whole time, there were programs that existed specifically for people in my exact situation. Programs that could have put food in my fridge and money toward my bills. But I didn't apply because I thought asking for help meant I had failed. Let me tell you something right now. Asking for help when you have a baby depending on you is not failure. It is strategy. So do this one thing today. Just one thing. Go online and search single mother assistance plus your province or your city. Start one application. Just one. You've already paid taxes your whole life. This isn't charity. This is your money coming back to you when you need it most. But here's where it gets really scary. This next mistake, it directly affects your baby's safety. Skipping your own meals to feed your baby. And I know every mother watching this just felt that hit in her chest. Because you've done it. You've skipped lunch, or you've eaten crackers for dinner, or you've told yourself you're not hungry, when the truth is, you're saving the last of the food for your child. I did it for weeks. And here's what nobody tells you about that. When you stop eating properly, your body starts shutting down. You get dizzy, you get weak, you can't think clearly. And when you're the only person standing between your baby and the rest of the world, you cannot afford to collapse. I almost blacked out once while carrying her down the stairs. That was my wake-up call. If I go down, there is nobody else. Nobody is coming. So I had to start eating. Not perfectly, not expensively, but something. 3 times a day. Even if it was just toast and peanut butter. Even if it was just rice. Because a fed mother is a functioning mother, and your baby needs you functioning more than they need an extra jar of baby food. And that leads straight into mistake number 6. And honestly, this one haunts me. Buying everything new instead of accepting hand-me-downs. I remember standing in a baby store, tears streaming down my face, because I wanted so badly to give my daughter everything brand new. I wanted her to have the perfect crib, the perfect stroller, the perfect little outfits that nobody else's baby had worn first. Because in my mind, if I couldn't give her a 2-parent home, at least I could give her new things. But that pride, that need to prove I was enough, it was draining my bank account dry. New baby clothes she'd outgrow in 3 weeks, a fancy swing she barely used, a brand-name stroller when a second-hand one works exactly the same way. Here's what finally broke through to me. Your baby does not care if their onesie came from a store or from your neighbor's garage sale. They care that they're warm, they're held, and they're loved. That's it. So find a buy-nothing group in your area. Find a mom swap. Accept the hand-me-downs. Let go of the guilt. Because every dollar you save on things that don't matter is a dollar you can put toward things that do. But the 7th mistake, this is the one that almost cost me my baby's health. And I need you to really listen to me right now. Not having any kind of financial emergency plan for your baby. None. 0. I had nothing saved. Not a dollar. And then my daughter got sick. She got a fever that wouldn't go down, and I had to take her to the emergency room. And sitting in that waiting room, holding her tiny body against my chest, all I could think was, what if they prescribe medication I can't afford? What if she needs treatment I can't pay for? What am I going to do? And that fear, that specific fear of not being able to afford to keep your baby safe, that is the worst feeling I have ever experienced in my life. Worse than the breakup. Worse than the loneliness. Worse than anything. Because it's not about you anymore. It's about this tiny person who didn't choose any of this and depends entirely on you. And I was failing her. Not because I was a bad mother, but because I didn't have a plan. So here's what I did after that night. I opened a separate savings account, and I started putting $5 in it every single week. $5. That's it. And I know $5 sounds like nothing. I know it feels pointless. But $5 a week is $260 a year. That's a prescription. That's an emergency doctor visit. That's the difference between panic and having something, anything, between your baby and disaster. But honestly, $5 a week is just the starting point. It's the Band-Aid, the real financial protection, the actual system that kept me and my daughter safe, the step-by-step plan that took me from having nothing to actually breathing again. That's something I couldn't fit into this video. It's too deep. It's too detailed. But I put everything into a complete guide because I didn't want any other mother to sit in that emergency room feeling what I felt. So if you want the full plan, the real one, the one that saved my life, I left the link in the comment pinned with a heart down below. It's all there. Everything I wish I had known from day one. Now, before you go, tell me in the comments, which one of these 7 mistakes hit you the hardest? Just drop the number. I read every single comment, and sometimes just knowing you're not alone in this is enough to get you through the night. If this video helped you feel even a little less lost, hit that like button so other single moms can find it too. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because I've got a lot more to share with you. And I promise you, you don't want to miss what's coming next. You're not alone in this, Mama. I've been exactly where you are, and I'm telling you, it gets better. Not easy, but better. And you're already stronger than you